Gathered friends, listen again to our legend of the Bionicle.
Wait, what do you mean it's the wrong intro? Fuck!
Long time ago, in a plain far, far away, there was born an orc. While that sentence can mean multiple different planes and orcs, today we follow one of them in particular. The plane in question is known as Dominaria. The orc was named Sek'Kuar, and it is unknown if he was born with the name or adopted it later in his life. Let's be honest, none of us are here to know the origin of his name, but to learn who he was, and quite possibly still is. Dominaria as a plane is quite possibly one of the most written about in the Magic the Gathering lore. That's why we have quite a knowledge of its locations, characters, and eras, and today we deep dive into the ending era of the Ice Age. Sek'Kuar was an orc shaman living on the islands of Terisier, which on the planar map is located around here. In Terisier, there was a kingdom named Kjeldor, and during Sek'Kuar's life, that kingdom's capital, Krov, was infested with a plague, thanks to Freyalise casting the World Spell to end the Ice Age. That's a story for another time, but now we know that Sek'Kuar lived during extremely important era for the future of Dominaria, somewhere during the last 500 years of the Ice Age. There is not much knowledge of his childhood, if any, but it is quite possible he was taught the shamanic arts by his family and tribe to ensure his survival in the harsh conditions of the Ice Age. And during his youth he was able to deep dive into shamanic trance. It is unknown how far away one's mind can travel in this form, but Sek'Kuar was able to meet at least one colorful personality along his travels of the transverse. The being he met was a Voidmaw creature, a cosmic horror entity. He made a mental pact with this horror, as you do, and the signing of this pact almost destroyed him. Signing away his life, Sek'Kuar got parts of this entity's power, becoming essentially a warlock of a great old one. When Sek'Kuar woke from the trance, he had led the creature into Dominaria, and offered it fresh corpses of the city of Krov, currently suffering from before-mentioned plague of zombies and other abnormalities. After the pact was sealed, Sek'Kuar became one of the most influential picktockers of Seritier, gathering an impressive horde of followers who wanted to see his borrowed eldritch magic in action, and it is unknown if he shared the knowledge of the existence of his patron horror. His personality was so colorful that even though he was cruel and uncaring, and in multiple occasions sacrificed his own followers, he was also as charismatic and powerful as Chuck Norris, that those he sacrificed would not only turn in their graves, but rise to follow him in acceptance to be sacrificed again. Sek'Kuar was not only loved and adored by his followers, he was also savage and unpredictable. During wartime, he took no one's side but his own, and his orcs performed raids on the warring factions as if it was a casual Monday. And generations since then, the descendants of his followers still believe he reigns supreme on the mountains of Caperlusan, bringing forth his dead followers as pawns to yet again be sacrificed in countless battles for supremacy. Now for a bit of theory crafting. The fact that Sek'Kuar was able to make a pact with the cosmic horror entity means that he most likely was quite a charismatic character even before meeting it in the trans dimensions. But the thing is that even though he made a pact with it, the powers of the two are incompatible. Sek'Kuar is not able to resurrect his allies if the Voidmaw creature is around, for it consumes the dying creatures, preventing Sek'Kuar to cast Raise Dead on them. This makes me wonder what kind of deal did the two make, and if I understood things even slightly correctly, here's my best guess. The first part of the pact is that Sek'Kuar, of course, signs over his life for either the singular Voidmaw creature or its society of such creatures. The second part would be that he is able to resurrect his followers as long as Voidmaw creature is not present, for when one is, it consumes all dying creatures. And since Sek'Kuar's life is in the entity's hands, it can possibly indeed increase his regular lifespan of an orc to be longer than those multiple generations since the ending of the Ice Age. Since Voidmaw creatures are not specifically alive, they can probably manifest some sort of eldritch immortality in their followers, in this case Sek'Kuar, making the claims that he still reigns supreme on the capital San mountains to be actually correct. Now let's talk about the Graveborn tokens he makes when a creature dies. They are 3/1 black and red creatures with haste. This is completely understandable, for on the battlefield, Sek'Kuar is fighting against one or more armies with his horde of allies, and after an ally has already died, they shall fear death no more. Their increased power, balanced by lower toughness, is the manifestation of their will to attack shields down for Sek'Kuar, their Deathkeeper. Haste is the manifestation of itself, the angry haste to throw themselves again in front to push through the hordes of enemies for their leader and master. Sek'Kuar as a character is one of my recently found favorites. His grim darkness of the ancient past that has possibly survived up to the Mending era is a mystery I'd like to one day see either confirmed or debunked. But as a legend, he most definitely deserves his place in the top-ranked creatures of the Terisier, even if his character is forgotten in the icy cold fog of Ice Age era.
From the moment I understood the emptiness of my life, it disgusted me. I craved the strength and certainty of meaning. I aspired to the sacrifice for the greater warlord. Your kind claim to your legacy as if it will be remembered. One day the history you live will be forgotten, and only the great legends of our lords have been written. But I already served my meaning, for Sek'Kuar Deathkeeper is eternal.